Okay, cool. Well, thank you, Tammy, for having me tonight. I'm excited to be with you guys. Some of you have seen me train, some of you haven't. Some of you have used Teamzy, some of you haven't. But we're going to have some fun tonight. I guarantee you will enjoy this call. So a couple things I want to show you. I'll show you Teamzy. If you haven't started using Teamzy, it's a software system that's designed to help you do this business really easily. You can do all your income producing activities, your DMO, in less than an hour a day with Teamzy once you kind of get the hang of it. But more than just a system to make your life easy, it's built on a philosophy and approach to business called relationship marketing. I want to teach you a little bit about that tonight as well, because if your heart's not in the right place, the system won't work. Okay. Now, if your heart's in the right place, that doesn't mean that your business will grow. You need both, right? You need your heart in the right place, and you need a system that you can follow that will get you predictable results. So I'm going to show you all that. Okay. So I'll take you through some of my training tonight, which is how to systemize your success with relationship marketing. And then I'll show you how to set up Teamzy. We'll do a power hour together so you can see how to work the workflows. And then we'll do Q&A. Sound good? Cool. Okay. Let me just make sure I got everybody muted. I'm going to mute you, but if you feel the spirit move and need to ask me something, you can unmute and do that as we go. Okay. All right, let's see. Here's where I want to start. Systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a hashtag Power Hour boss. You guys will be hashtagging yourself as Power Hour boss after tonight. Just some of my backstory for those of you who haven't met me. My background is actually in coaching and consulting. I've been a professional business coach for 16 years. And I specialize in helping people build their business based on relationships. My background's not in direct sales. I fell into direct sales by accident about 5 years ago. And I found some products that really helped me, and I was excited about them just because I liked them. I wasn't a distributor or anything like that. But when I finally did take a look at the business opportunity, I said, you know what, this is pretty cool. I mean, I was so skeptical about direct sales and network marketing. But when I looked at the comp plan and everything, I thought, wow, this is actually pretty great. You can start a business without any investment. Somebody else handles all the headache parts of the business, right? And all you have to do is the fun part. And I started looking at it seriously as maybe an additional side hustle for me. And I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but I thought a little extra money would be good. How many of you guys relate to that? And so the challenge that I had was, I had a career that I loved. I was full-time in that. I have a family, 4 kids. I mean, I was a busy guy. And I know you guys probably relate to that too. And when I really looked at how much time I had extra, it came down to about an hour a day. That's about all I could spare. Some days more, some days less, right? And so I started looking for tools that would help me to do this business on the side in that 1 hour. And I knew as a coach that it could be done. I just needed to find the right tools. So long story short, there weren't any tools. I couldn't believe it. So we built Teamzy. So that's what happened is we started building Teamzy. I took a couple of guys that I respect who had worked with me on software projects in the past to Panera Bread for lunch. And I pulled out a notebook with these crude sketches of what I thought Teamzy could be. And we built it and released it. And people have loved it. It's been pretty cool. So just to kind of give you an idea, we released Teamzy December of 2016. So just almost 4 years, 3.5 years. We've had more than 80,000 people use Teamzy, which blows my mind. 80,000 people use Teamzy. We don't have anybody promoting this or running ads. It's like, we started with a $200 Facebook ad, and it's just like this, people sharing it, loving it, telling their team to use it. And also, so you guys have an understanding of what people in Juice Plus, what kind of results they're getting with Teamzy. Active Juice Plus distributors, those are actively using Teamzy. They're averaging 18 new customers and 12 recruits over 90 days. Okay, 18 new customers and 12 new recruits over 90 days. So those people are using it actively and consistently, just basically doing what I will demo for you tonight. Okay? All right, cool. And of course, hopefully you know by now that we're endorsed by the Juice Plus company, which is an incredible honor for us to have their endorsement for you to use us. If you're not already using Teamzy and you're curious and would like to try it out, go to teamzy.com/JP and you can get a free trial for 30 days. Okay, teamzy.com/JP, free 30-day trial. We don't ask you for a credit card number or anything weird. We just want you to really use it and love it. Okay, so go check it out. Make sure your teams know they can try it for free at teamzy.com/JP. If you signed up as a distributor today, and you weren't planning on investing anything, again, you got 30 days free. So you can get in there and start building your business for nothing. Pretty cool. And of course, being endorsed by Juice Plus is awesome. And I'm proud to endorse you as well as an avid fan of Juice Plus products. And I now have 2 towers. This is my first summer with a tower. I now have 2 with extensions. I'm getting into it. It's pretty cool. That was my first tower. You see, I let everything bloom because I thought it was pretty. All right. Somebody then told me, you got to get them before they bloom. It's okay. I'm learning. So let's get into this. Let's get into this topic. What is relationship marketing? What is relationship marketing? First of all, I want you guys to understand that relationship marketing it's a system. I'm going to teach you a little bit about it tonight, but it's also an approach to the business. It puts people and relationships ahead of sales and recruiting. Okay. So how many of you guys are like, oh, good, I feel the same way? People and relationships are more important than sales. Here's the good news though. Relationship marketing generates more sales than any other business model. It just puts the people ahead. And your heart has to be in the right place for this to work. Does this make sense? Another thing that we do with relationship marketing is that we treat people so well that they want to help us build our business. How many of you guys are customers at places and you want to help them build their business because you love how they treat you? Yeah. So this is part of our philosophy. Okay. Now, from a kind of business perspective, I want you guys to understand this, that relationship marketing is also a lead generation system. It's a lead generation system. Okay. And that's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. It's kind of a dry definition, I know, but your business owners, and the role of a business owner in a business is to choose the lead generation system the business will employ, right? This is the first major decision you make as a business owner. What lead generation system? How will we generate business for this business, right? And I want you guys to understand this. Your business is not marketing and selling Juice Plus products. You're in the lead generation business. That's your business, is to generate leads, okay? And if you're not doing the work that does this, then you didn't actually build your business today. You were just busy. Okay. And it's just a mindset I want you to have at the beginning. But here's the good news, bringing it back to this relationship marketing philosophy. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. It's not just something fun that we do, it's your duty. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. In other words, your job is to generate leads, meet people so that you can develop relationships with them. That's what we're going to teach you to do tonight. Meet people and develop relationships with them. Why is that so important? Because we turn relationships into advocates, okay? Because we turn our relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. And then an advocate is somebody who's excited about your business, right? And tell other people about it. Now, just really quick, just to kind of bring this concept home, and then we'll move on. Our industry typically teaches you to go connect with as many people as you can to see who's interested, right? I got to get to the yeses. Who's interested? Who wants to learn more about this? Who wants to join my team? And most people aren't. True? Most people aren't. And so they say, don't worry about it, Eric. You got to go through a lot of no's to get to yeses. Just keep going. Have you guys ever heard someone say that? Does it make any sense to you that you got to go through no's to get yeses? Honestly, it doesn't make any sense to me. No's don't get any closer to yeses. And what is typically taught in this business is, don't worry about the no's, move on, next, right? So you're throwing away all the people that say no and looking for the few people who might say yes. Does it make sense? How many of you said no? Most rational people are going to say no. That's who we want, aren't they? The rational people. Aren't those the good people we want? Here's what I want you guys to understand with relationship marketing. Just think of it this way. While everyone else in our industry is throwing the nose over their shoulders like dead bodies and moving on, we're going to invest in those people. There are relationships. We're not looking for yeses. We're looking for relationships. And relationships, 3 things happen. You become my customer, you join my team, or you become my advocate. I don't have room for no's. Does this make sense? When you invest in relationships, those are the 3 outcomes. They will become your advocate, they'll become your customer, they'll join your team, maybe all 3. Make sense? And what's so cool about this is a lot of times your best people are the no's. They will be the best people. Okay, let's move on. Next principle, relationship marketing depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust. In other words, if you're a jerk, this ain't gonna work. This system will not work for you. How many of you have come across somebody in our business that's a jerk or kind of made you feel that way? How many of you are really worried someone's gonna think that about you? Well, you're in the right place. We're gonna teach you how to do it so it doesn't. Relationship marketing depends on trust, which means it's so important that you are authentic, honest, somebody who builds a business with integrity. But isn't that refreshing to be able to do that? We don't do anything. We can't do anything tricky. We can't do all the things, so many things that are taught in our business. I'm like, man, that's kind of tricky, isn't it? Isn't that a little bit manipulative? I don't like any of that. How many of you guys can agree with that? Relationship marketing depends on trust. Now, here's the good news. Trust makes the work fun. If you build trust, you don't have to sell. You don't have to convince. You don't have to trick people. You can get right to helping them, right? Also, trust takes the ickiness away. There's no icky salesperson feeling that happens when you've built some trust. And finally, you get to go for yes. We've already talked about this a little tonight. You get to go for yes instead of no with trust, right? We get to go for yes. Okay, so how do we build trust? I'm going to teach you the 4 essential ingredients to building trust. Just kind of the basics, but it should be enough to get you going, okay? So I'll go through them quickly and then I'll explain them for you and then we'll take a look at Teamzy. Here they are. Number 1 is chemistry. Chemistry. Okay, number 2 is character. Okay, character. Number 3 is competence. Competence. And number 4 is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. Okay? Yes, it took me a long time to get them all to start with the same letter. Like 6 months of teaching this. It's all good. Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Okay? Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Bottom line, nobody wants to do business with someone they don't like, right? And people, given a choice, would prefer to do business with a friend. So find out what you have in common with people. This is your job. What do we have in common? Ask a few questions. How many of you believe every single person on the planet could use Juice Plus? Absolutely, right? So you got to find out what you have in common with people. Sometimes it'll be easy. It'll be your tribe. You know, you guys have identified this is my tribe. But a lot of times you'll come across somebody who doesn't fit that mold. So ask some questions, find out what you have in common. We have things in common with everybody, don't we? But it's important to build that rapport. Number 2 is character. Okay. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Okay. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. I want you all to notice something about this definition. You don't actually have character. Character is something you do. It's not something you have, it's something you do. Okay? All the most important things that we think that we have in our life, we have fooled ourselves into thinking they're things and they're actions. Character is one of those. Love is another one. Friendship is another one. These aren't things that you have. These are things that you do. So important for you guys to understand that. And a lot of times we get offended if somebody questions our integrity or questions our character. They should. Maybe we're not showing them our care. And so your job, how many of you want to do business with businesses of good character? Isn't that important? It's important for everybody. So people don't know your character. You need to be showing them. And you do it by showing your care and showing that you're relatable. Right? I know some of you have had amazing testimonials with Juice Plus. You've had health problems and now you don't. How many of you guys have stories like that? And you got to remember to tell people how you were before. They need to relate to the you that needed help, right? But it's so important that we demonstrate our character in everything we do. The way we talk to people, the way we take care of our customers, the way we serve them, right? The way we treat people who serve us out in the world. I was in a restaurant recently and saw somebody treating the service staff rudely. And I thought, well, if I knew that person's business, I guarantee you I wouldn't do business there. How many of you guys feel that way? How do you park? How do you drive your car? Do you have Juice Plus stickers on your car and then drive like maniacs? Don't do that, right? That's demonstrating your character. You got to just think about this 24/7. How are you showing your character to the world? And that's an important piece of building your business. How you post on social media too. Is it all about me or is it about my care for my audience and bringing value to them? Make sense? Okay, number 3 is competence. Competence. You need to be showing people. This is when you demonstrate that you are good at what you do and you are a business person. Okay, competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Again, you need to be showing people your competence. The first piece is about Juice Plus. I mean, are you competent? Do you understand how these products work? Can you help me? When you uncover my needs and my problems, can you help me with them? Do you understand enough? Are you competent enough with your business that I want to become your customer and I believe that you can help me? Okay. And so this is something you need to be on a mission to grow. You need to be growing that competence. If you're new, you need to just be soaking it up like a sponge, learning all about it, learning about your competition, getting mentored by people on your team to learn as much as you can. The second piece of this is your business. Are you competent at the business? Do I believe that you could sponsor me into this business and I could be successful at it with you? I need to know that, right? Isn't that important? Now, here's the good news. Again, as you go, you need to be learning this and trying to build this as you go as a business person. But if you're new or if you don't have that competence yet, you don't need to fake it. You don't need to pretend that you're something you're not. What you need to do is you need to talk about and demonstrate the competence of your team and your upline. Does it make sense? You just lean into them. Because especially if you're talking to friends and family, they've seen you with your pants on backwards. They don't believe you yet. So you need to tell them who you're associating with. Whose team have you joined? Who are they going to get to know as well? Whose expertise will they get to lean on? So you talk about the competence of your team as you build your own. Make sense? But it is huge. People need to know that there's competence there. Okay, so chemistry, character, competence. There's a quick principle behind these, and then we'll jump to number 4. And here's the principle that underlies these. When somebody's going to do business with you, they really only care about 3 things. Okay? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? And are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? And are you good at what you do? They don't really care about what's in the product. Be honest with you. When somebody feels good about these 3 questions, you've got an advocate and you can get right to helping people. Make sense? This is why over time we build relationship. Number 4 is consistency. Consistency. How many of you have kids? Let me see the parents in the room. Do you think being consistent is important for our kids to trust us? Yeah. Look, here's the good news. If you've got kids, you've already built all the skills you need to be a successful business owner. It's good news, right? Yeah. A business is kind of like kids. It can make you crazy sometimes with frustration, but boy, is it also fulfilling and valuable, right? Pretty cool. Consistency. Here's the thing. If you want people to trust you, got to be consistent. If you're kind of new into the business, sometimes in your first couple of years, people are waiting to see if you'll actually stick to this for a while before they trust you. Have you guys noticed that? Sometimes the closest people take a little while because why? They want to see that you can be consistent. Here's a principle that I want you guys to get. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. Okay, people respect consistency and they desire it for themselves. How many of you have been told by somebody, it kind of surprised you when you heard it, that, you're an inspiration to me. You inspire me. Have you guys heard that from somebody? Isn't it kind of humbling when somebody says that to you? But here's the thing. Think about what it is that's inspiring them. It's probably this. They see you being consistent. And this is something that's hard to do, especially the stuff that's good for us, right? We're really good at being consistent on our bad habits. Have you guys noticed that? I always tell people when they say consistency is hard, I said, no, everybody's really good at consistency because most of us are consistent with our bad habits. No problem. It's the same thing. It's just, you got to get it on the good stuff, but people see this and they respect it and they desire it for themselves. Not only does consistency build trust with you and your business, but it attracts people to you. It helps you build your team, helps you build your following and your business. So it's so key. So just really quick, let me just see by show of hands. Let me just get out of this so I can see your faces. If you've got your camera off, just pop it on for a quick sec. How many of you are consistent? You take your Juice Plus every day. Let me see you guys. Cool. And people know you do it. Do people know you're actually taking it? How many of you share your journey publicly on social media with your friends, things like that, consistently? Okay, good. It's important, right? These are the things we have to do because these are the things that people are watching to see if we do it. How many of you are good at, here's the real checkup though. How many of you are good at staying in touch with the people you know consistently? I got a few of these. It's okay. Look, why do you think you're listening to the Teamzy guy tonight? Obviously, everyone needs help with this. So don't want you to feel bad about yourself. But this is the most important part of our business is staying in touch with people consistently. Okay. This is why, let me pop back in here real quick, because you guys need to understand this, that relationship building is a contact sport. Okay. It's a contact sport. That means we got to be in contact with people. If you want a relationship with people, you just have to be in regular contact with people. If you ask me, Eric, what's the number one thing I need to do to be successful in my business? I would say you need a list of everybody you know, and you need to stay in regular contact with them. But I know that you guys probably have a big list and time is scarce. Don't worry. That's why we built Teamzy, by the way, to make it easy to do. But I want you to understand this principle, and that's this. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Your success in this business is based on your ability to deepen relationships, and there's only one way to do it. Investing time and connecting with people. Just really quick on this, I'll give you a quick example, and then we'll jump into Teamzy. How many of you have ever received just like an amazing card or letter from somebody you love, handwritten message in there, and when you read it, it was like, oh my gosh, just touched your heart? How many of you have ever received one of those? Hopefully everybody. Okay, if you've never received one of those, please put your address in the chat and we'll all write you one. We'll all write you one. We'll celebrate you because everybody needs to get one of those. Okay, just real quick, by show of hands, how many of you save cards like that? You've got a special stash somewhere of these really great cards that you haven't been able to throw away. Just about everybody. Okay. It's amazing because I do this training in different countries. You know, I've done it in Australia, the UK. We did one in Luxembourg. Amazing, right? They were like, we need you to do training. I said, I speak English. They're like, so do we. Like, I'm so glad you guys are so well educated. Good, let's do it. My point is that everybody says, yes, we save them. Doesn't even matter. It's human. It's not even cultural. In fact, when we pass away, sometimes that's the thing we treasure the most, isn't it? The letters and cards. We keep them forever. Now, quick question. This is a happy birthday postcard that I received from my life insurance salesperson. Have you guys ever received one of these from somebody that you do business with? Yeah, Laura's laughing. The dentist. Okay, yeah. Sometimes my dog gets one of these from the vets, and then it says, P.S. Your measles shot, your whatever shots. What do dogs get? I don't even know. Whatever the dogs get, shots are no good. Come get more shots. Is this nice to get? A little happy birthday message from somebody, right? How many of you keep this? Nobody keeps this. Do you throw them in the trash? Instantly, don't you? Do you notice the difference? This has no value. No value. Now let's talk about why. What are our principles? Connecting with people and investing time. This required no time investment. True? And it's not personal. It's a bulk mailing. It violates the two principles, so I don't value it. It has no value. Neither do you guys. You all throw these in the trash too. Now, this person, my life insurance salesperson, I'm sure that he gets a policy or two by sending these out and has figured out it's worth the money. But this isn't how we want to build our business, is it? Business is built by connecting with people and investing some time in deepening the relationship. Okay. This is what marketing automation, which is kind of a sexy term in our industry. Oh, I just want to automate my marketing. It gets a little bit of results, but it makes you feel like this, and it goes in the trash. Does it make sense? But if you spend some time, now you don't have to be writing people letters or cards all the time, but if you just invest 3 or 4 seconds into one person personally, it's enough to make their day. Okay? And that's what I'm going to teach you how to do tonight, is how to apply this concept through a tool like Teamzy, so you can connect with people authentically, one-on-one, and make their day. And it creates opportunities to really help people. Does it make sense? Okay. So let's dive in here real quick. I think I have one more slide and then we'll go into Teamzy. So that's the principle if you didn't get it down. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Okay. Here's the thing. This is all great. And I could tell by your faces you like what you're hearing, but you got to have a system to this. You can't just say, I like those concepts. Let's go try to figure it out. You need a way that's to stay in contact with all your relationships. Okay. Stay in contact with all of them. A system that helps you know when to contact them so that you're not just looking at the same 10 people on your Facebook feed going, should I contact them again? Know what you're going to say so that you don't stare at your screen all day going, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? How many of you do that sometimes? That was me. That was me for a long time. And also have a system so that you make sure that nobody falls through the cracks. This is the biggest problem. You work so hard to create interest in Juice Plus, and then they fall through the cracks on the follow-up, right? We're all guilty of this. I'll show you tonight how to do it so that nobody falls through the cracks. All right, let's dive out of here and jump into Teamzy. So as I mentioned before, if you're not already using Teamzy, go to teamzy.com/JP to start your free trial of Teamzy for 30 days, okay? And once you're in the free trial, you're gonna go into a setup wizard, which is just designed to make setting up Teamzy super easy. So here's the Teamzy setup wizard right here. This is the first screen on it. If you're not techie like me, I needed software to be so easy that even I could use it. That's why I built Teamzy. So trust me, if I can do this, you guys can do this. So there's a little welcome video from me. The first real thing that we're gonna do in the setup wizard is we're gonna help you set an income goal. How much income would you like to be earning a year from now? Easy, right? So you can see I've set mine to be 150,000 a year. Now, the way you set this is you just slide this little ball up and down, right? So if you wanted to go to $500,000 in a year, that's how much work you'd have to do. If you just wanted a little bit, you could just do a little bit, right? So I'm going to put mine back to 150 because 150,000 is what you can actually do that in 1 hour a day. Okay. Which is pretty cool. Do I have any six-figure earners already on the call? For you guys, if you're already earning six figures from your business, from your Juice Plus business, what I want you to do for this goal is the amount you want to grow it. Okay. So if you want to grow it 50 grand this year, great. Then your goal is 50. If you want to grow it another 100, then your goal is 100. Make sense? Okay. So you're going to subtract your current income out of this. This came about, that comment, because when I got Kurt set up, speaking of Kurt, Tammy, he was like, Eric, it has me making like 3,800 connects a day. And I don't know how any person could do that. And I was like, okay, wait, we need to dial this down for you. It's all good. All right, let's go on. All right, took too long on this page. So the next thing we're going to do is get all your contacts into Teamzy. We're going to get your customers, your distributors into Teamzy, your customers, your Facebook friends, all your contacts, wherever you have them, get them all into Teamzy. Okay, so we're going to import all those people. So all of your contacts are in one place, so you can be organized. No more chasing down pads of paper and sticky notes and digging through your phone or trying to remember who to connect with. You're going to get them all in one place so that you're organized, okay? And these little things are actually little tutorials on how to get each list into Teamzy, okay? This is the most technical aspect of setting up your Teamzy, is getting your lists imported. For any of you who are intimidated by that, I don't want you to worry at all. You can request a one-on-one Zoom with my customer service team, and they will walk you through and do it for you. Okay. So if you feel like if you don't want to follow the step-by-step tutorials and you just want somebody to help you, you just sign up for a one-on-one and get it done. Okay. Now we're ready to rock, ready to launch Teamzy. Here's my dashboard. Okay. I'll show you a couple things here. We're going to do one more setup thing, and then we'll do our power hour. So here's the Teamzy dashboard if you haven't seen it. This is the desktop computer version. It's going to look a little different if you log in on your phone, obviously, unless you have a giant phone. But a couple things here I just want you to see. So today's activities, this strip right here, these are the goals that we need to do on a daily basis to hit your 12-month goal. Okay, so Teamzy takes that 12-month goal and tells you exactly what you need to do to hit it. So in my case, my goal was 150,000. So I need to connect with 9 prospects each day. You can see that I've got 0 done so far. I need to connect with 6 of my customers. Again, 0 done, and 4 of my distributors. So that's my daily reach outs, my connects, 19 people a day, 9 prospects, 6 customers, 4 distributors. Whatever you set your goal to, this will be configured to your numbers. And then I've also got a goal of inviting 3 people a day. That's inviting people to join my team or inviting people to buy my products. Okay. I'm not going to invite every single person I talk to because I'm going to have a conversation first and see who's interested. Make sense? Because not everyone's going to be ready the first time you say hello to, hey, would you like to buy my Juice Plus? Ding, right? They're going to go away, not another one, right? So just have a conversation first. I'll show you how to do that in a second. And then I've also got a goal to add new people to my Teamzy list every day. You know, whether they're people I haven't thought of or people I'm meeting, you always want to be putting new people in so you've got some fresh relationship energy always going in. Okay, so those are my today's activities. Now, my goal is to do those activities 5 days every single week for a year to hit my goal. Okay, so it's not 7 days a week, don't worry. Now, here is the Power Hour module right here in the center of our screen, and this is set up to help me be incredibly efficient with my DMO. So one of the things that Teamzy does is it actually tells you who's up next. It's not just a place to log what you're doing, but it tells you what to do. So in your Power Hour, I'm going to connect, remember, with 9 prospects. My lists are here: prospects, customers, distributors, and follow-ups. And these are the people who are up next to connect with. Okay, so I don't have to think. I'm just going to connect with the first person on the list and start working my way down. Teamzy makes sure that nobody falls through the cracks. It's going to consistently rotate my whole list through this Power Hour module so I can't miss anybody. Okay? Nobody ever gets missed as long as you're working your Teamzy. Now, the right-hand side is where you log the activity as you go. So again, it's designed to keep you focused. The list only gives you 5 names at a time. That's so you don't get overwhelmed, so you stay focused. See, if I gave you 20 names, what are you guys going to do? Going to contact that person. You start cherry picking the list instead of just working it. Now, there's one more thing for setup before we're going to actually go in here and work this Power Hour. And you don't have to do this every time. It's just one time you need to set up Teamzy. I want you guys to notice on the left-hand side of everyone's name is a number. This is their star rank. Have you guys ever used a 5-star system to rate a pizza or a movie or anything like that, right? We do everything with the 5 stars, don't we? Hotels, we rate them with 5 stars. So we're not going to, don't worry, we're not rating human beings with stars, but we are rating the level of our relationship with stars. And this is important because the star rating allows Teamzy to automatically create your list for you without you having to think or plan. Okay, so what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to jump over to the team page. See on my left nav, see where it says team? The team page is where your full CRM lives. This is where all your contacts are. So you can see my entire list is here. Okay, they're all here. On the team page, this is where you also find someone's complete contact record. But what I'm going to do is I can toggle on rank mode, which allows me to rank everybody at once. So see, it's turned on everybody's star rating. So now what I would do when I'm setting up Teamzy is I would come down my list and I would look at people and I would rate them just by clicking on them. And you can change somebody's ranking just by clicking on it. It auto saves. You can change it back. You can change it. You can even delete somebody by clicking this little trash can. Okay? If you saw somebody in there you didn't want in Teamzy. So we're going to go down your list one time. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you need to go down your list and give people a quick rating so that Teamzy can create your Power Hour list in an intelligent way. Now, let me explain to you why this is so important. I'll show you these ranks and what they mean. With relationship marketing, you need to talk to the people who trust you the most first, and you need to spend more time with those people. Okay? Because they're more likely to help the business. They're more likely to join or be interested than people who barely know you. Does this make sense? So we're going to start with them and we're going to talk to them more. In other words, you're going to get to talk to your best friends more often than the people you barely know. Right? Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Here's what the ranks mean. A 5-star is somebody that you feel is most likely to become a customer or a distributor. These are people that are already on your team that are rock stars. You're going to rank them 5 stars. These are your best friends, your closest family, your favorite people in the world are 5-star people. Most of us have like 10 or 20 tops 5-star people in our life, right? 4-star people, this is somebody likely to become a customer or distributor, in your opinion, with a little bit of nurturing, okay? They're the solid performers on your team, your customers that are just good customers. These are your friends and family, not your closest circle, but people you would consider friends and family. They're 4 stars. 3 stars, who knows? They could go either way. We just don't know with 3 stars. We don't know them well enough to know which way they're going to go, if they're going to be interested or not. Most of the people you know are 3-star people. I would say 90% of your contact list will be 3 stars. Okay. Now, here's the good news. When you put people in Teamzy, we automatically assign them 3 stars, which means when you rank your list, you only actually have to change 10% of the list. So you're going to go down that list. Everyone's 3 stars, and you're just going to look for 4 and 5-star people. Make sense? Now, 5-star people, I forgot to mention this. 5-star people show up on your list automatically every 30 days, and they come up first. Every 30 days. 4-star people show up on your list automatically every 60 days. 3-star people come back on the list every 90 days. And then 2-star people come on the list every 120 days. So the more stars you give somebody, they come up first and they come back more often. And the people that you don't know that well, you're still connecting with over time, but at a cadence that makes sense, right? You wouldn't reach out to me every week if you barely knew me. I'd think you were a freak. Agree? But every few months checking in with me, that's really nice. Wow, he really cares. That's cool. Make sense? Okay. So that's why the star rating is so important. So you're going to go down really quick and at least pick out your 5s and 4s and then toggle back to the dashboard when you're ready. And we are ready now to do our power hour. And you never have to do that ranking project again because you can always change ranks as you go too. Okay. But if you don't at least do it a little bit to start, Teamzy might start with people in the very beginning that barely know you and you're losing an opportunity. Okay. All right, now we're ready to do the power hour. Let's do it. Okay. We work from left to right on the power hour. Start with prospects, then customers, then distributors, then follow-ups. Okay, so let's do this. First person on my list is Jay. Okay, my prospects list. I'm gonna message Jay. Now you can connect with somebody however you want to. And you can see if you look at activity Teamzy has Facebook, email, text, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Voxer, whatever, greeting card, in person. You can log any type of connect you want. Now, I typically like to just message people to start the conversation. So I like to use Facebook Messenger. That's my primary outreach tool. And Messenger has a phenomenal response rate, has the best response rate of anything, even better than text, believe it or not. Okay, so I'm going to use Messenger as just to demonstrate. So you can see up here in my browser, I've got Facebook open, ready to use to send a message to Jay. So Jay is the first person that comes up on my list. Now what do I say to her? How many of you get stuck right here? Let me see the hands of those of you who would go to Jay's Facebook page and read the entire thing before sending the first message. I used to do that too. Which is a total bummer when she doesn't respond, right? And you spend all that time and energy. So here's what I'm going to recommend to you guys. Just send an icebreaker, something just to start the conversation. If she responds, then spend some time customizing that conversation. So just in case you're like me and used to get stuck, after we had Teamzy out and we had about 30,000 people using it, they were like, Eric, we don't know what to say. So I put a scripts library in here for you. So you go right here where it says scripts. And there's different scripts you can use that have been tried and tested. So I'm going to grab one for Facebook. Just really simple, you guys. These aren't salesy scripts. The first one on the list, connect one, I'm going to use that one. Here's how it reads. It says, hi, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? I hope your day is awesome. Super simple, right? Super simple. So I'm going to copy that script, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it in Teamzy so I can edit it a little bit. Make sure you get the right name, right? If any of this doesn't sound like you, you can reword it a little bit, but don't rewrite the whole thing because each little phrase has a psychological reason, right? This is just, I'm going to put some emoticons in here. How many of you guys like to put emoticons in your messages? I love emoticons because then she knows it's light. See, I wanted to know this is just a light message. I don't have an ulterior motive. Just wanted to say hello for no reason. I hope you're having an awesome day. And you know, most people's response to this is like, wow, thank you. Right? Great to hear from you. So now I've got the right name. I've got some emoticons. It's ready to go. I'm going to go actually send this, copy it, and send it in Facebook. Okay. There she is. Let's send her this message. Here it is. Send. Little pro tip. Once you get the message pasted in that send box, don't stare at it for 20 minutes. Just hit send. It doesn't help you to overthink it. Okay, so look, now I'm just going to log this. That was a Facebook message. See the blue button that says log connect? That's how we log it in Teamzy. So when I click that, it's logged. See, it says connect logged. And see right up here, I've got one done now, and this little blue circle is starting to fill in. This is my visual cue that I'm doing my work. Next on my list is Tammy. I'm going to use that same script. I've still got it on my clipboard. I'm just going to hit paste. There it is, and just change the name. See, now I don't even have to change my emoticons. It's ready to go. Okay, do you guys see how easy this is? So I copied that. I'm going to toggle over here. There she is. Send message. Okay, boom, done. Now I've got 2 done. Let me log this in Teamzy. Facebook message, big blue button, log connect. Look, I've got 2 done, 7 left. Do you guys see how easy this is? Now, there's no reason for me to even change that script. I'm just going to connect with everybody with this one to get started. So I'm going to work my way down this list, sending this message. And each time I do, this circle will get a little bit more blue. When I get to my goal, which in my case, it was 9, that circle will be completely blue. And I'll visually know, hey, I'm done with prospecting for today. Let's go to the next list, which is customers. Okay. So Amanda comes up on my customer list. Great. Now I'm going to message her the same way. If I want to go get a script just to keep me moving quickly, then I'll grab one. How about this one? I like this one right here. Hi, Jane. Just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. Okay. So let me just borrow that one. Or maybe you do this one. Hi, John. How are you enjoying? And then you can fill in the products. How are you enjoying your tower garden? Please send me an update. Let me know how I can be of help. Do you know how many people order because you asked that question? It's crazy. Here's what I want you guys to know, though. So you do it the same way. You can paste in your script, change the name. Okay. You don't even have to be a good typist like me. You can be a poor typist. How many of you were excellent typists before smartphones happened? And then you became one of these things. That was me. I was actually a pretty good typist in the beginning of my career. When I was junior and I had to type fast in order to get jobs. I don't know. You put some emoticons in here that you like, get the idea. Send the message, log it, move on. Functionally, it's the exact same way. You want to message your customers, log it in Teamzy, okay? So my goal is to message 5, 6 of my customers today. Just really quick on this, though. A lot of people, how many of you wish you were in better touch with your customers? Most people say yes to this. How many of you have really tried to institute a very professional follow-on system for customers, where you're following up on a specific day of the month and all this? How many of you have tried that and have struggled keeping up with it? Yeah, it's hard. This is why we built Teamzy to be super simple. So here's what I want you guys to know. You're normal. I don't know anybody who's been able to maintain that system that's, self-employed, that doesn't have like a team of people getting paid to do it. Just put them in Teamzy and star them. And just each day you message a few customers. Guess what happens? You'll just be in regular contact with them. Okay? You'll just be in regular contact with your customers. You don't have to message them anything salesy. Just be there. Just be in contact. Now, what happens are a couple of amazing things. When you're in regular contact with customers, you guys ready for this? Statistically, they order more products and they retain longer. How many of you would like that? Just by being in regular contact. Now, will it work 100% for everybody? No, but overall, people will statistically retain longer and order more product. Okay. And what happens when you're not in contact is they just wither away. They just wither away most often. Think about going to an amazing restaurant and having great service. How many of you experienced that? Picture the service being amazing, the food being incredible, the ambiance being perfect, and then the food is dropped off. You take your first bite and you never see your server ever again. Did you get to order that second glass of wine, or did you have dessert at the end? Of course not. You didn't order more, right? You didn't see them again. So just being present, It enhances their experience. They'll want more product. They'll want to try more. You guys have amazing products. People don't, they need the next thing. You just need to be in touch. Make sense? Now, really quick, how many of you have at least one customer that you just adored and you just wish you had more customers like that in your business? We all do, right? Hopefully you guys are thinking of that person's name right now. Where do you go find more people like that? Do you know where to go? Here's what I'm going to tell you, just a little clue. The best place to find amazing customers is from your amazing customers. That's the best place, because those people are loving the products and they are talking about them to their friends and family. How many of you have ever met somebody who doesn't actually tell other people about something they love? We all do this. Those people that you had in mind are talking about Juice Plus already with people. Okay, now here's another stat. 86% of people say they make their purchasing decisions based on the recommendation of a friend. Okay, great. So your favorite customers talking to their friends about Juice Plus, they're 86% likely to purchase. The question I have for you is, are you getting introduced to those people? Do you know who they are? Are you, right? So your goal, as of now, some of you need to write down your goal, is to get introduced to the people that your customers are talking to. And the step one is just to be in touch with them. Because nothing's more annoying than getting a call out of the blue after 6 months of not talking to somebody, asking them to introduce you to their friends. That sounds like it's all about you, doesn't it? But if you're in regular contact with somebody, serving them and loving them, it's totally natural to say, Tammy, I know you've been getting amazing results with Juice Plus, and I'm sure you've probably told friends and family about it already. Before I get too busy this month, Tammy, is there anybody that you care about that needs more information on this? I want to make sure that I put your friends and family first. Oh, well, I was talking to Laura about it yesterday. Awesome. Well, would you mind introducing me to her so that I can get her some info and see if it's something we can help her with? Whatever's easiest for you, Tammy. You can do it on a group text, a group Facebook message, group email. Just introduce us and I'll take it from there. Right? A couple of you are like, oh, I need to try that. You just got to be in touch with your customers so that that becomes natural. Does this make sense? But you need to be getting introduced. Your goal is to get into, if you have one customer that's great, you can build a business on that. How many of you have heard the term word of mouth? Word of mouth is like waiting for wheat to blow into your field and grow a crop. Okay? I just want you guys to understand that. What I want you to do is to go find the seeds and plant them, tend them, and harvest them. Does this make sense? Don't wait for word of mouth. You create it by investing in relationships, by being present, by being there with your customers on a regular basis. How do you do it? So simple. You just get into Teamzy. Their name comes up on the list. You send them a quick message. Thinking about you today. How's everything going? Is there anything I can do for you? Can I make your day today? Send me an update on the products. How are they working? Okay. Super easy. So I'm going to work my way down my customer list as this pink circle goes all the way pink. And I've done 6 reach outs to them. I know I'm ready to go to my next list, which is my team. Now I'm going to connect with people on my team the same way. Why? Because those relationships are just as important. They need to hear from me personally. Hey, Trina, I noticed today in the back office that you got a new customer. Congratulations. Hey, do you need anything in your business? I'm here for you to support you, or, whatever. Just a little message to your team the same way. That's why we called it Teamzy, by the way. And as your team grows, there's this misconception there's no way you can stay in touch with them. Now you've got the tool to do it. You can still be in touch with your leaders. You can still be in touch with your first level people as your team gets massive. You just put them in teams and it just cycles through. Okay? Makes sense? So the first half of your power hour each day is you just send messages out to your prospects, your customers, and your distributors, whoever's up next on the list. Now, sometimes somebody will come up on that list and you go, I don't even know who this person is. Then you look and you go, oh, we're Facebook friends. I wonder how we met this person. Just send the message anyways. Okay? Unless you're one of those people that has accepted random friend requests from weird, strange people in foreign countries and stuff like that. Just don't do that. Okay? Make sure they're all at least, normal people. Okay. By normal, I mean, by your definition, whatever that is. Okay. Prospects, customers, distributors. That's the first half of our power hour. And then we're going to go to our follow-ups list, second half. But when I get to my follow-ups list, you'll notice it's empty. The follow-ups list is not automatic in Teamzy. You have to put people on the follow-ups list. Now, I want you guys to understand the difference between a connect and a follow-up. People call it following up when you're just saying hello to people. That's not a follow-up. You follow up after an offer. Okay? So if I reached out to you, Esther, and just said, "Hey, I hope you're having an awesome day," and you didn't respond, I don't need to follow up on that. That was just a hello. I'm going to follow up when you say, "Yeah, I think I do want to get Juice Plus for my kids." Now I have a reason to follow up. So your follow-ups list are for people who have expressed interest in the products or joining the business. Okay? If you really want to use that the way it's designed. Now, of course, I can put a follow-up on there because I want to call you about your used car for sale on Tuesday and I don't want to forget. I can put you on my follow-ups list. That's fine. No big deal. But I'm just letting you know that really what we want to do with the follow-ups list is it's people that are interested in our business. So how do I put you on the follow-ups list? Let me just give you an example. Okay? So I messaged Tammy and she says, "Oh my gosh, great to hear from you, Eric. That was so nice." Which you'll get a lot. You'll get that kind of response from people a lot. Or you might get a response that says, "I think your Facebook has been hacked. I got a random message from you wishing me a great day." That's, by the way, if you get that message, that just shows you that you have not been connecting with people one-on-one. And it's okay. You just say, "No, no, no, it's really me. Let's have a conversation." But let's say she says, "Okay, it's great to hear from you." Perfect. And I'm just going to try to engage her in conversation. I'm going to do my best. I won't always succeed on the first try, but I'm going to do my best. Let's say, "Hey, it's been forever, Tammy. Tell me, what's been going on in your life? Send me an update on what you've been up to." By the way, the words "send me an update" are so powerful because people, the whole open-ended question thing, people hate answering open-ended questions, but they like being given clear instructions. That's why "send me an update" works so well because it's like, oh, I can do that. So she tells me, starts telling me about her family. We've been doing this. We just went on vacation. She'll tell you a bunch of stuff that'll give you opportunities to have a conversation with her, right? And so we're going to ask questions, going to learn as much about her as I can. And what I want to do in this conversation, besides just have a nice conversation with her, is I want to learn about ways I can help her. It may or not have anything to do with Juice Plus, but I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen for things, sarcastic comments, jokes, complaints, straight up complaints. Sometimes people will straight up tell you, I'm dealing with a hole in my roof because of the storm we just had. I got buckets all over the house. Or I just had I just talked to somebody the other day. They went on vacation and their toilet pipe blew up. And so the entire house was flooded while they're on vacation. So that's just an example. Does that have anything to do with Juice Plus? No. Could you help somebody in that situation? How many of you know a few things you could help with? Maybe you know a flood company that can help get in there and clean it out so there's no mold. Maybe you have a relative that does flooring that could give them a deal. I mean, right? Don't we all know things like this that could help that person in that situation? Totally. So just listen for ways to help. Okay, it doesn't have to do with Juice Plus. Now, there may be opportunities to learn about Juice Plus, but just listen, be as helpful as you can. And part of this conversation will also be sharing your own update. Well, here's what I've been up to, Tammy. Here's what my family's been doing. Here's what we did this summer, right? And I don't know if you asked me about work, but I don't know if you know that I don't actually have a job. I haven't had a job since, for 5 years. I started my own business. I work from home now. I have a home-based business. Oh, really? Yeah, this is what I do. I help people lead healthy, fulfilling lives and tell your story. This is why. This is how it helped me. I became passionate about helping other people. It's totally natural for you to share your business in a normal conversation with another person. Does this make sense? Everybody's so terrified. How do I talk about Juice Plus? Well, if you're entering a conversation wondering when you're going to talk about Juice Plus, then it is all about you and you are going to come across that way. But when you're just having a great conversation, you're interested in someone else and you're getting their update, you're going to share yours and it's totally normal. Okay? And I'm going to tell her about my business. And of course, I'm listening. If she complains about her boss, I'm going to say, I totally feel you. I didn't like my boss either. I'm so glad I don't have one anymore. Right? I'm going to tell her the benefits based on what I'm hearing from her. I love being with my kids every day and having an income that supports us, or whatever. So we're talking about it. And, the bottom line is we're having a conversation. And in the conversation, I'm going to let her know what I'm doing and why I'm so passionate about it. She's going to be excited for me, whether or not she's interested. And if I feel like if she's showing some interest, I'm just going to ask her, hey, would you like more information on what I'm doing? Would you like to learn more about it? And that's it. You just ask them. If you feel like they might be interested, just ask them, would you like more information? She says, you know what? Listening to you, I think I am interested in learning a little bit more. Okay, great. So now I'm going to invite her to something and go deeper. Does this make sense? So I know I kind of gave you, that was like a long conversation. My point is that when people are interested, you invite them to something. So let's say my wife and I are doing a salad in a jar party this weekend. You guys ever do those? I haven't actually done them, but I watch all of you doing them on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm like, I want to get invited to one of those. Those look awesome. So let's just say, for example, that's what's going on this weekend. Great. So, hey, you know what? Are you around this weekend, Tammy? We're doing this fun thing, or we do a salad in a jar thing. And you can come and you can go home with a bunch of salads. But also, while we're there, we'll talk a little bit about the business, and I can give you some more information on what we're doing. She's perfect. So now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to invite her to this event so that I can go a little deeper with her. So let me show you what I'm going to do. She's no longer on my dashboard because I already connected with her. So I'm going to use this little lookup bar to look her up. Okay, and that will bring me to her full contact record. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the connect box and just click right here where it says invite. See the bottom corner? I'm going to invite her to something. So let's say I'm going to invite her to this event, and it's a salad and jar party on Saturday. Okay, great. And now I'm going to set a follow-up. Let's say the salad and jar party is tomorrow. I'm going to follow up now in a couple of days. Great. So now I've set a follow-up for her, and I'm going to log that. Oh, so I'm inviting her via Facebook. Great. So when I log this, it now sets the follow-up on her record. When I set a follow-up on somebody, it moves them off the prospects list temporarily, and it lands them on my follow-ups list. Okay? So if you put somebody in your follow-ups list, they're not going to come up again on your regular up next lists until they're off your follow-ups list. Okay? Which is cool, because now I want to connect with her on my follow-ups list. So at the party, I'm going to talk to her about everything. And then when I follow up with her, I'm now working towards seeing if I can get her to make the commitment to go to the next step with the business. Make sense? So here's what my power hour looks like. Connect with prospects, connect with customers, connect with your distributors, just to start conversations and say hello, and then work my follow-ups list. Whoever's due, when it's due, it turns red and it says that person's due. So let's say Tammy's due today. I'm going to send her a follow-up in Teamzy. Let me just show you how to do it. It's really simple. It's just like sending a regular connect. You go to scripts and you get a follow-up script. They're labeled follow-up. Pretty simple, right? I'm going to get number one, follow-up number one. Here's how it reads. It says, hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Super simple. Okay. So I'm going to use that script to follow up with Tammy after our meeting. Get the name right. You don't actually have to paste this in Teamzy. You could go straight to Facebook or whatever with it. I like to do it because then you don't accidentally send the wrong name, which I've done. It's not a big deal when that happens, but it's easier not to do it. So look, there she is. I'm going to send her this follow-up message. There it is. Just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? I'll send that. Now that is sent. That's how you do a follow-up. You don't overthink. You just send it. And I'm going to log this in Teamzy and set a new follow-up so I don't mess up. Let's say I'll follow up in a couple more days from now. I set a new follow-up. You can leave yourself a note, by the way, so you know what you're going to do. I'm going to send her follow-up number 2 next time and log that. Okay? So now the follow-up is sent, logged, and a new one is set. Pretty easy, right? You guys see how easy that is? Okay, so the follow-up is following up on interest in the business or the products. Last thing on this, then we'll do Q&A. Okay? The fortune is in the follow-up. How many of you have heard that before? This is where most people mess up the business. All that work that I showed you tonight to get to this point, and then it messes up. How many of you had somebody really interested, and then you followed up, and they didn't respond? And then you followed up again, and they still didn't respond. And then it's okay if you're raising your hands. This is normal, by the way. Then you followed up again, and nothing but crickets still. You guys had this happen to you? It happens a lot, doesn't it? And then you start making up reasons in your mind of why this could be happening. Well, it's probably a money thing, or, I heard her husband's a jerk. He's probably not supporting her in this. Like, we start creating all this. I saw after 6 hours of digging in Facebook and Instagram, I saw that her third cousin was in a car accident last week. That's got to be it. How many of you do deep dives into their social media to try to explain why they're not responding? Okay. So here's what I want you to understand. I'm going to give you some more statistics, right? Because the numbers don't lie. 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Okay? I know. I saw a couple faces. Ooh, I don't like the sound of that. 80% happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Only 20% of people will respond in the first 3 follow-ups. Oh, it sucks, huh? Yeah, sorry. It's true. Here's the truth. Most people, they won't even respond until the 6th or 7th follow-up. They won't even respond once, nothing. Most people won't even open your messages. You'll think they haven't even seen them. Okay? Now, here's the good news. Now that we know that that's the case, I'm going to teach you how to do it. I'll teach you how to follow up 10 times. But wait, listen to this part. Without being annoying. How many of you guys would like to learn how to do that? They will thank you for it. They'll say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for staying in touch with me. I really appreciate it. And you're going to go, really? Because I felt really guilty every time I messaged you the last 10 times. No, they'll really like it. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to do this, okay? Here's what I want you guys to know. But now that we know that people are wired this way, they're just not going to respond. You have to keep following up. How many of you, just by show of hands, again, if you can turn your camera on, turn it on so I can see you. How many of you are in this business because you truly believe you can help people, you want to help change lives, and this is the way you're doing it? Let me see your hands. And you can keep your hands up if the thought of following up 10 times makes you cringe a little. Here's what I want you guys to understand. I'm just going to say this statistic a different way. 80% of the people you could help, you will not help if you don't follow up more. You need to think of it that way. Imagine everyone raised their hands pretty much that are parents on this call. Imagine if your kid said, I don't want my vegetables 3 times, and you stopped trying to get them to eat vegetables. Right? Did you do them a service? No way. Maybe that's not the best example with you guys because you could just give them delicious little candied gummies and it still gives them vegetables. So you guys are the wrong audience for that, but you get the idea. Okay. Here's the thing. Let me teach you how to do it. There's 2 principles. If you follow them, they will love you for your follow-ups. They won't ever complain. They'll think you're amazing. And they'll tell their friends you're amazing, which is cool. Here they are. You ready? The first principle is this. When you're following up with somebody, don't ask them to do anything. Don't ask them to do anything. Okay? You don't have to call me. You don't have to text me. You don't have to message me. You don't have to do anything. Even though I really want you to. You don't have to. You just take that pressure off them. Okay? The second principle is this. Your follow-up messages, they need to be able to read them. So they can't be a Voxer. They can't be a voicemail. They have to be able to read them. Okay? So just keep that in mind. It has to be something written. And it has to be short enough they can read all of it without opening it. Okay? They need to be able to read the whole message without opening it. Because no matter how busy they are, they can read 2 or 3 sentences in less than a second just by looking at it. Our brains work that way, right? But it will take you 90 seconds to do that on voice. Now, this is why. Let me just kind of explain this. Picture the scene. I'm here and I'm hanging out in my house and I've got all my kids with me today. I have 4. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they come running into my room, into my office screaming. Has this ever happened for no reason? They're screaming about something. I don't know. Somebody stepped on a Lego that somebody else was building, that whatever. And you're trying to make sense of it. And then all of a sudden, somebody sends you a voice message. Are you going to listen to it right now? No way. Can't. There's too much going on. So now I have to put this off till later when I have a chance to listen to it, and I may never get to it. Make sense? Same thing if it's super long and I look at it and it's like, I'm not going to open this right now. Those are annoying things. Make sense? I'm driving my car, message comes through. Whatever the case may be, 99% of the time, I'm too busy to open your message right now. But here's the other thing. I have a deep desire to know what it says. Are you guys like this? We all do. So you want to make it so they can just look at it and see it. It doesn't matter that they can't respond or that they won't respond. You want to make sure that they see your messages. So you're present with them. So they feel your care and they know that you're still present. You haven't given up on them. Does this make sense? You guys need to understand the concept. Following up is an act of love. Following up is an act of love. Okay, so we make sure that it's not annoying and that we're present so that they understand. I told you I care about you and I'm going to help you. And just because you're not responding isn't a good enough reason for me to give up on you. Okay, so you follow those two principles so they can quickly see your message. Here's what happens. I'm talking to Tammy. We had this great conversation via Messenger. And then she came over to the house. She was kind of excited about it. She saw my towers, right? She loved the fact that the kids could eat the gummies and it was free. And she was like really interested. And then she goes back and gets into her life. Okay? And she's busy. And those little messages come from me and she sees them. And for the 3 seconds that she sees them, she's feeling that hope and excitement again in her heart that she felt that day. And then her life takes back over. Make sense? So you just need to be present long enough. And then what happens is you get to like, for most people, some people will respond in the first few. Don't forget, those people are great. But for most people, it may take a while. And then she'll message me at some point and says, I'm so sorry I haven't responded, Eric. Thank you so much for staying in touch with me. I really appreciate it. And it's like, it works like a charm every time, you guys. You get that, I'm sorry I haven't responded. They'll tell you why. First, the 2 front tires of my car exploded, and then this happened, and then that random thing happened, right? Because life is happening to everybody. But you just got to stay present with them and work this system. The system is based on generating authentic relationships, investing in people, getting to know people, staying in touch. You go and do your Teamzy Power Hour once a day. You go in there, you connect with your prospects, your customers, your distributors, and then you see if you have any follow-ups due, you send them a follow-up message. That's your Power Hour. Okay? Then what I recommend you do is you set aside a couple of 30-minute blocks throughout your day, like, maybe 2, so that you can respond to all the messages you're creating in that Power Hour, right? So if I message 20 people, I'll probably get 10 people responding. What I used to do when I had a full-time job is I would do my Power Hour at 6, and then I would go, get everybody ready for school and work, and I'd go to work, and then in my lunch break, I would see who responded, and I would respond to everybody. And then in the evening, when I got my kids to bed, I would see who had responded since then, and I would respond to everybody. I just had a couple little blocks in my day to keep it sane so that I wasn't always on my phone. Some days I would be on my phone all day, and my wife would smack me in the head and say, stop doing that time block like you teach people to do. But if you do that once a day, 5 days a week, you go into Teamzy, you just follow it. Message people. You'll create a ton of conversations. You'll have great opportunities to talk to people. Does it make sense? And then you can truly follow up and not let people fall through the cracks. Okay. And so if you do that each month, people on that follow-ups list will be closing. They'll be joining the team. They'll be coming on and purchasing things. And that's how you get those numbers. Like I showed you at the beginning of the call, 18 customers and 12 recruits over 90 days, average. Make sense? It's about being consistent. Okay, quick, I'm going to give you some action steps, and then we'll do Q&A if you guys, I know, well, I've been talking a long time, but I will stay if you guys have questions. Let me just give you a couple action steps real quick. We saw this. Okay, here we go. First off, go to teamzy.com/JP and get your free trial started if you haven't already done that. It's a no-brainer. It's free. So go use it for free. Let your team know about it. Now, if you may not all know this, but we have a special deal with Juice Plus. They've sponsored your membership with Teamzy. So your subscription after the 30 days is up, it's much less than it is for other networks. It's $19.95 a month for your subscription to Teamzy. So it's like 60 cents a day to have everything planned for you. Okay. And of course, that's 100% tax deductible. So go to teamzy.com/JP, start your 30-day free trial. If you're already in a free trial, set up your subscription now so you won't miss a beat. Otherwise, after the 30 days, it kind of just closes down because if you don't have a subscription, that's ongoing. Okay. Number 2, I want you to get a success partner or a couple success partners to do the trial with you. Hold each other accountable. Say, hey, here are my goals. What are yours? And what I recommend you do is each day when you've completed your Teamzy task for the day, you take a little screen grab of it and send it to your partner. Okay? It will spur you guys to do more. Now, most of you, after staying with me for an hour, are going to at least go check out your free trial of Teamzy. But I want you to actually use it. So the success partner or partners will help you get a ton out of it. That free month, the reason I give you 30 days access for free and not 7 days or something cheesy like people do, is because I believe you should be able to create a massive amount of momentum in 30 days. Okay. And I want to actually get you paid so that you can become my customer. So it's a win-win. Make sense? So don't just get in there and look around and go, it's pretty. I like the colors. Get in there with a friend and crank it, crush it. Okay. And the last thing I'm going to give you is a 5-day challenge. 5-day challenge. I challenge you to use Teamzy 5 days in a row. Okay. Don't worry, your arms and legs won't fall off. 5 days in a row. And I want you to connect with 100 people over those 5 days. So an average of 20 a day. It could be any mix of prospects, customers, and distributors. I don't care. I just want you to message 20 people every day for 5 days. Why? Because it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. The amount of relational activity and energy you will create in 5 days will blow your mind. You will no longer believe the stories you've told yourself about your business, about things being slow or about whatever. I've gone through my warm market. You won't believe those stories anymore from yourself or your team if you take the 5-day challenge. What you'll understand instead is, wow, if I really get after this in just a few days, I can create momentum in my business and I can do it anytime. Make sense? Who's up for the 5-day challenge? Let me see. Public accountability strong. You guys get all those faces? Okay. You can hold each other. There, you just got your first group of challenge group partners. There you go. Does that help? Okay. Was it like sipping water through a fire hose? A lot of content. Okay.
That was awesome. I've already been using Teamzy and it was fantastic.
Oh, good.
I learned some stuff. So
if you guys have questions, this is it. Go ahead and unmute and ask away. I'm happy to answer anything.
I have a question real quick. Sometimes I feel weird when it's like a weird time of day and I'm sending a message. Like if it's 11:30 p.m. or like 5 a.m. Are people going to think I'm weird?
My advice is not to worry about that, because if that's when you can do it, you should send them. So I used Teamzy for 2 years before as a direct seller. Before, I just focused on Teamzy. And I did mine between 4 and 6 a.m. every day. And I think twice people were like, dude, why did you message me at 4 a.m.? Okay. And so maybe twice people said that to me. And I just said, I was up early and I was thinking about you. I figured you'd get it later. I mean, was your phone not on mute when you slept? Like, just give it back to him. Mute your phone. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you, but I was thinking about you, wanted to say hi. And then you still have a great conversation, right? So my answer to you is do it when you can and don't worry about it. But you'll be surprised how many people are, laying in their bed, playing with their phone, and getting those messages, or they wake up in the morning and they get the message, or whatever, depending on their schedule. So I wouldn't worry about it. If somebody does ask you, why are you messaging me at a random time? Just say, I'm sorry, I was just awake and thought of you and I figured you get the message later. That's it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's okay for you to feel a little bit weird. I have to tell you, there's lots of times when I felt weird even sending the message, even though it was just a hello message. But what I learned was not to judge people by the fact that I hadn't talked to them, because a lot of times, Laura, are you pretty active on social media?
Yes.
So you'd be surprised how many people are watching you on social media like a TV show. Mm-hmm. They watch you. They don't interact. They don't like. They don't comment. They don't message. But they're watching you. And then when you reach out to them, it's like, now they're part of it. And you'll be surprised. Has this happened where someone's like, oh my gosh, how's everything going? I saw that you did this and I saw that you did that. It's like, we haven't talked in 10 years. You're totally up to date on what I'm doing.
It happened on Saturday. I ran into someone and she knew everything about what's going on. I was like, I felt kind of weird, but yeah.
That's what I want you to know, is that people are watching. Like 1 or 2% of people will actually interact, but more than that are watching, especially if you're active. And so when you reach out and connect with them, you'd be surprised. You're thinking, man, I barely know this person. And they're like, I know everything about you and your new puppy is so cute and everything. And you're like, okay, great. So let's talk. And a lot of times they already know about Juice Plus if you're already talking about it, which is great, you know, and you can have a great conversation. So I'll just tell you guys a real quick story. So my background is in the real estate industry. That's where I worked and coached and helped people build their business for years, right? And so when I started my direct selling business, everybody I knew was a real estate broker, agent, or investor. That was the people I knew. And all of you guys have like a group of people, plus, you know, my friends and family. But you guys all probably have a group of people that you're connected to, a community of people like that. And that had nothing to do with what I was doing. So people would come up and I would message them like, hey, hope you're having a great day. And there was this one guy in particular, his name's Mike, and he was a real estate investor down in Alabama, and I live in California. That's about as far away as you can get. And we had connected over the years in our industry. So I'm messaging him, and he doesn't respond. And he comes up every 3 months or so, and I'm just like, it doesn't take me any time to send him another one, so I just send him another message, right? And this went on for about a little more than a year. Every 3 months, I sent him a message. He was 3 stars in my system. And I would laugh when I saw, like, I'd go into Facebook Messenger and I'd see it was like September 30th. And then it was November 30th. You know, it was like exactly 3 months on the same day, every message I sent. I was like, whatever. Maybe he thinks I'm really organized. Long story short, he responds to me, I think like the 6th time. So what is that, a year and a half? He responds and says, hey man, I'm sorry I haven't responded to any of your messages. But I have been watching. I've been to your website and I've gone through everything. And I'd like to get started with this. And he sent me a list of the products he wanted. Right. And then he said, is there any benefit to me coming on as a distributor? Can we jump on the phone to discuss? I was like, yes and yes. Okay. So, but how much time did it take out of my day to send him a message every 3 months? 5 seconds, right? But I probably spent 10 times that time second guessing it before I just hit send each time. That makes sense. So anyways, my advice is just send them. It doesn't take much. Now you will get, okay, I can tell you one more story. Is this okay that I'm telling you guys all these stories? So I had this other guy. He's husband and wife real estate team in Sacramento, California. Knew them for 10 years, had helped them a lot in their previous business. And I messaged him one day and he didn't respond. And he came up again and I went to message him and I saw we were no longer Facebook friends. I was like, oh. So I friended him again and sent him a new message. So he responded and he said, hey, Eric, sorry. You know, when you were talking about real estate, your posts were relevant. And now that you're not talking about real estate anymore, it's just really not relevant anymore. So I unfriended you. Ouch, right? How many of you guys would be like, dang, after 10 years? And I was super mad. I went to my wife. I'm like, can you believe this guy? And I was telling her all the things that I'd done to help them over the years. I couldn't believe it, right? It's just so harsh. But you know what I did? I got to tell you guys this. After I kind of pulled myself together, I just wrote him a message because it was all on Facebook Messenger. So he can't see that I was mad, right? I sent him a message and I said, hey, no, I appreciate that. And I totally understand, but could you do me a favor? Since I'm on a mission to help people get healthy, if you come on, is there anybody that you care about who needs help with this, that's struggling with their health or their vitality, their fitness, or they've got weight they can't get off, or, is there anybody you care about that needs help with this? Because I'm on a mission to help as many people. I understand it's not relevant to you, but I'm sure that there's people you love who I could help. And if so, I'd like to take good care of them. Do you know what he did? He sent me 3 names. He sent me 3 names. And I got him to introduce me because, as I taught you guys, thank you for the names. Could you introduce me? I got him to introduce me to 3 people. So I just want you guys to know the relationship. And guess what happened, by the way, when he saw his own words, hey, this is Eric. He's somebody I've known for more than a decade, really been a help in our business. I think when he saw those words, he realized what a jerk he had been, because he ended up accepting my friend request and not unfriending me again. But now he was golden with me because he sent me people to my business. So I continue to thank him and love on him for that. Does that make sense? So don't question the value you have to offer, I guess, is my bottom line on that. Okay. Anyone else have questions?
I think, Eric, I think there's a few questions in the chat. Let me go through that they wrote along the way that you may want to.
Okay. Let's see. Rachel says, do you ever put a couple in as one entry? Or is it better to keep the husband and wife separate? I put people in as one entry all the time. But there's, there's cases. Okay. So let's say, Rachel, are you on the call still? She'd take off already. She might have. It's okay.
I think she wrote and said she had to get off her kids.
So my wife and I work together in the business. So sometimes we would keep them separate and I would reach out to the husbands. She would reach out to the wives. Now, this comes up a lot in my boot camps. People ask this question because they don't want to give the wrong message to a married man. Let's say you're a woman, you don't want to give the wrong message to a married man or vice versa. So what I would often do is I would message the couple, or I would message one and I would ask about the spouse in the message. Okay. So, hey, Lisa, how are you and Eric doing? How are you guys doing? Right. So I would message one and ask about both. And then in my update, I would always talk about my wife. Just these are things that just keep it so that people aren't like, hey, beautiful, why? Thanks for reaching out. So I know that happens, and it happens a lot less to me because I'm a man, and I know, it happens a lot less, but I know it happens. So those kinds of things are good. But a lot of times, though, you do have a relationship with a couple, and so I have couples in mind. So to answer your question, you can do it both ways. But definitely, you want to think in terms of couples a lot of times when you're talking to people. The other thing is couples make their decisions together a lot. So it's good to have a relationship with both. So, okay. So that's how I would not answer that question, by answering it 3 ways. Hey, I'm going to run for Congress next month. Just kidding. I would never do that, especially in the state. What would happen if you didn't have enough customers to cycle through every 60 days? Does it cycle faster? So if you didn't have enough, you could set them up to 5 stars and talk to them every month. However, the goal here is to get more customers. So if you run out of customers, let's say you have 10 customers, you need to be focused on prospecting in Teamzy, talking to prospects. Make sense? So if your goal is 9 prospects and 6 customers, and you only have 10 customers, I would make that customer goal 0 and start talking to 15 prospects every day, and just stay in touch with your 6 customers for now. Make sense? Okay. Rachel says, do you track every segment of the back and forth in a follow-up combo? No, I do not. I'll explain that in a second. Or just note that you're following up in Facebook Messenger and see the tracking over there. Yes, that's what I would do. All right, so you guys want to know my simple system? Teamzy will tell you when to reach out to somebody. Okay? So in order for it to do that, it needs to know when you reached out to them last. So when you connect with somebody, you log the connect. You don't need to log every back and forth because, as Rachel pointed out, that whole conversation is in your messenger feed or in your text feed or wherever. It's already all there. Okay. And I don't want you to get caught up logging homework so that you get overwhelmed by Teamzy and stop doing it, which is what could happen if you're wired like me. So what I do is when you come up again in 2 or 3 months, I see your name and I go to your Facebook message. I see that I sent you a message that said, just checking in. How are you? I'm going to go see if there was a response. Oh, there it is. Does that make sense? And then I'm going to continue on. So I wouldn't do all the back and forth tracking. If you feel like you have to, and some people are wired this way, that I just want it all tracked, that's fine. What I used to do, this is how I did it, is when you came up next time, and I would actually copy the entire conversation from last time and paste it into this time. So it was still one connect. So it was always in your feed, if that makes sense. Okay. Tony says, what helps you being creative with ways of reaching out? So what I would do, Tony, is again, just use the simple scripts in Teamzy. There's 3 basic just connecting scripts that you can use to get things started. And so if you use those with people for the next, cycle through your list, which is they'll be good for a few months. By then you're going to be good at it. But you don't need to get super creative on the hello. You need to get creative on the conversation. Okay. So if I say, hey, Tammy, it's great, just popping by to say hello, how are you? Hope everything's going great. Hope you have an awesome day. And she says, oh my gosh, great to hear from you. Now that she's responded, now I may go look at her Facebook and go, oh, well, how about this? Or what about that? Or I might just go to the straight up, like I said, it's been forever. What have you been up to? Send me an update. Tell me what you've been doing these days. And see if I can engage her. Now, the other thing I want you guys to understand is that when you're reaching out, half the people won't respond at all. By the way, if you get a 50% response rate, that's amazingly good. That's great because as we mentioned, people are just busy sometimes, right? And so over time, you'll get them as you message over time. And out of the people who do respond, some of those conversations will fizzle out quickly. They just won't be that interested in talking right now. So you saw my goal was 19 connects a day, and my goal was that 3 of them would be really good conversations, 3 out of 19, right? But if you had 3 great conversations every day, so let's say you're reaching out to 19 a day, that's almost 100 a week. At the end of the week, though, you've got 15 people who are interested. That's huge. That makes sense? And the people who aren't interested, you haven't burned the bridge, you haven't damaged the relationship with them. So it's kind of cool. The other thing I would say, Tony, also to answer your question is, you just got to, and you've heard this from other people, but you just got to tell stories when it comes to talking about, the way I talk about the business isn't like, this is my business and this is what, it's just like, what has the business done for you? What has it done for your friends, your family, your team members? Tell stories that are relevant. And as you're talking to somebody, they're going to kind of let you in on, oh, that reminds me of, maybe it's not your story, but that reminds me of somebody on my team that was going through a similar thing. This is what happened for them. Like tell stories like those, that makes it really relevant, if that makes sense. I always ask people, I went to the Juice Plus conference in Sacramento. How many of you guys were there? And I had asked, I'd run into people and I'd ask them, so why do you do Juice Plus? That's such a fun question. By the way, ask your team members that. So why do you do Juice Plus? What's your story? Tell me your story. And people always say, oh, I don't really have a story. I don't have one of those stories. But if you press them, they'll tell you. We met this young woman at the airport bar. We were way early on our flight. And we were sitting down having a beer and she was having a drink. She's like, you're Eric from Teamzy. Yeah. And she's like, oh, nice to meet you. I use Teamzy. And I asked her, why do you do Juice Plus? I don't really have a story. And then as I asked her, she told me about her son who's 10 and who's been sick his whole life. Like just been sick, like random, lots of sicknesses. Like he has no immune system. She's like, he's been hospitalized 3 times a year since he was born. I go, oh, is that why you started using Juice Plus? She goes, yeah, a friend of mine thought it might help. And I go, and has it helped? She goes, yeah, he hasn't even been to a doctor except for a checkup in 2 years. I said, oh, so that's why you sell Juice Plus. She goes, yeah. I go, that's an amazing story. She goes, I guess I never thought of it. Hello, right? It doesn't have to be, that's an amazing story. And that hits people where what they care about the most, their kids. I mean, so what's your story? It doesn't have to be crazy, I joke about, sorry to go there, but you guys are Juice Plus people, the potty talk. Juice Plus helps with that stuff, right? Like so I got a tower garden because I was obsessed with that right away. And then my business partners were like, so are you going to start taking the capsules? And I go, yeah, I started taking them already. And they're like, do you feel any different? I said, I'll tell you one thing that's different. Going to the bathroom is fantastic. Guess what? Three of my partners ordered Juice Plus. Was I cured of stage 4 cancer? No, I know stories like that though, Juice Plus. No, it just was a potty talk. It was okay. My point is tell stories, share stuff. People will love it. You know what I mean? It's relevant to people. So, Tony, my other piece to you is, how can you share stories, testimonies from the team, things that are relevant to personalize that story to them? If that makes sense. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Oh, somebody asked, how do you input names or contacts into Teamzy? Okay, that's a super easy question. Let me show you. You guys can ask me questions too, verbally. I'm okay with that. Okay, so here's Teamzy, okay? So see this button right here that says add contact? Yeah, it's that easy. Look, I can add one person here just by putting in one person. Or if I go to bulk, I can bring in a whole list, okay? So if let's say you got the list from your back office exported in here, you could come in here and you could load it up here. You could load in your Facebook friends, and there's instructions on how to do all this in Teamzy. There's a few here, like how to get your Facebook friends list, and then you upload. So if you do a bulk, you do it from that bulk line, or you just add one at a time as you go once you've done the bulks. Okay. Let me just show you guys where the help center is. On the left side of Teamzy, the help center right here, that opens up a page that's full of FAQs and videos and things that help you kind of self-serve on how to do everything in Teamzy. And if you just want help, on every page of Teamzy, let's see if you guys can see it down here. This is my screen. There's a little help button. You guys see that little help button? You can click that, send us a message. The team will answer it. Or if you want, you can just ask for a one-on-one. Okay, so on your dashboard, you've got this little thing here. You can ask for a one-on-one. And you just pick a time that works for you. Okay, let's say you have a quick thing, 15 minutes. Let's say you need 30 minutes, great. You pick a time, they'll give you a calendar. You pick a date and time that works for you. Look, we've got time tomorrow. How many of you guys need help tomorrow? So if I click on this, it'll schedule me for 9:30. You'll get a Zoom link, and when you log on, one of my team will be there live, and they'll walk you through anything you need. How cool is that? It's pretty cool. That's because I know there are people like me who are like, what do I do? Oh my gosh. I have an Apple Watch. How many of you guys have an Apple Watch? I've had my Apple Watch since for 3 years, and I have no clue how to use most of it. I need somebody like Teamzy to walk me through it. Like sometimes I just want the time and an app's up and I push all the buttons and nothing works. I mean, maybe one of you guys could walk me through how to use my Apple Watch. My point is like, unfortunately, my team always says, stop telling people you're not good with technology. You don't have to be good with technology to use it in your life to make your life easier. Make sense? Okay. All right, last question. Then I'm going to go put my kids to bed. Anyone else have one? Okay. We will get this recording. Tammy, I'll get this in your hands probably early in the morning. I know it's late for you anyways on the East Coast. So it'll be there for you, so you can share the replay with the team, the rest of the team who wasn't here. But I want to just say thanks for having me tonight. I hope it was helpful to all of you. Welcome to our Teamzy family, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you for your time. It was very helpful.
My pleasure. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks. You too.